So in this section 11.4, we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So what we're going to do is the following. So here I have a fraction times another fraction, right? Now, again, we want to differentiate between if I have just monomials, right? S times t times x squared times y squared, or if I have binomials or trinomials. So what we want to do, something that is extremely helpful, is if I combine these into one fraction. The way I do that is I will draw the fraction. Now I want to look at the denominator and the numerator separately. So let's look at the numerator. You can see that I have some coefficients and also variables. So here my coefficients are the 64 and the 5. What I'm going to do is just write them here like this, 64 times 5. I'm not going to multiply it out. And then I have y squared times y. How many y's is that together? Y cubed. Here I have 5 times 8. I just write it like this. And then I have y times y squared. So now, when you haven't multiplied yet, sometimes it's easier to reduce, because what I can do is the following. Look, the 5's and the 5's reduce. Yes? And now the 8 and the 64 also reduces. So I divide by 8. I get 1 here and 8 here. So all I have from my coefficients now is an 8. And then the y's, I have y cubed over y squared. How many y is that? 1 y in the numerator. All right? So that's how I do that. Okay? So first, we combine into one fraction, put the coefficients off to the side, and then do coefficients separately, and then do variables separately. Okay, so now let's do the next one. The next one here, we're going to do the same thing. So equal to one fraction, one big fraction. Coefficients, I have 15 times 16, 12 times 10. Okay, now let's see the s's. S squared times s, s cubed. T's, t cubed times t squared, t to the 5. Here, s's. How many s's together on the bottom? 4. And how many t's? 4. Okay, now let's do coefficients. Coefficients. I can divide the 15 and the 10 by 5, 2, and 3. I can divide the 16 and the 12 by 4. I can get 3 and 4. Okay, now let's just clean this up a little bit, because now it's getting too crowded. I have 3 times 4, 3 times 2. Now let's talk about variables. How many s's? How many s's remain? 1 on the bottom. How many t's remain? 1 t on top. Now look at what happens. The 3's, I can still reduce them. The 4 and the 2, I can still reduce them. So I have 2t on top, 1s on the bottom. Okay? Okay, so now, any questions on this one? Okay, now here's what we're going to do. The next one, do you see how the next one I have some monomials and I have some binomials? This is key. So here's what we're going to do. Let's combine like this. Okay, so look at this one. I write the monomials first. 4m squared. The m plus 4, does it factor? No. I'm going to write the m plus 4, but guess what, guys? I need the parentheses. Over 3m, m plus 4, m plus 5. Okay, look. In this step, I literally did no math. I just rewrote things and sometimes in different order. Okay? Now, and I put parentheses around things. What cancels here? Does the 4 and the 3 reduce?
No.
No. Okay, now look. Leo, how about the m's? The m square and the m. Do they reduce?
I don't think so.
The m and the m square, they do, because you have one m left over, right?
Oh, so you get on the numerator.
Yeah. So I have 4 over 3m. Okay, what else reduces here?
The m4s cancel out.
Okay, it's m plus 4. M plus 4 reduces with m plus 4. And so the m plus 5 stays. So this is my final answer. Okay? All right. Let's get one here. All right. So first I write any coefficients. All right? Now, does this factor?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do you know how to factor it, Leo?
Yeah, you do. So you do take the x minus 2 and x plus 2.
Correct. Here I write the 2. And then the x minus 2 doesn't factor, but it needs a parenthesis. Now, I see what reduces. 4 and 2 reduce, I get a 2. Kai, anything else reduces here?
No. The x's?
Not the x's. You need to reduce whole things with whole things.
X minus 2 and x minus 2.
X minus 2 and x minus 2. Okay? So I have 2 left and an x plus 2. Okay? Okay. Let's do this one. So we're going to do one fraction. All right? Okay, this factors. Ethan, can you factor this one?
Yeah, it's a difference of squares.
Tell me, what do you get?
M plus 4 and minus 4.
Right. Now, the n plus 2 doesn't factor, so I write it with parentheses. Here, the n plus 4 doesn't factor, so I write it down with parentheses. Now, we need to factor this one. So everybody take 10 seconds to factor this one. On your mark, get set, go. So almost, it's going to be, I believe, n minus 4, because we want them to multiply to positive 16, but add to negative 8. Okay, so do you see how we can't get away without factoring, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now, Matan, does anything reduce?
The n plus 4.
Okay.
The n minus.
And the n minus 4, so what do I have left over?
n plus 2, n minus 4.
N plus 2, n minus 4.
And you can still reduce. Oh, there you go.
Good. Okay, yes. Thank you. Amazing. Right? They're in parentheses. We cannot reduce anymore. So now, here's my question. This would also be equally correct if I wrote the same thing without parentheses. Equally correct. However, you're gonna, even though they're not visible, you're gonna visualize parentheses, because if you cancel the n and the n, it's so wrong, right? It's so wrong. The n plus 2 here, because there is a plus or a minus, the n plus 2 has a bond with each other. You cannot break that bond and cancel an n or a 2 or a 4. Okay? Yeah.
What if you were to make it like n n plus 1, n minus 2.
No, because it doesn't factor that way.
Understood.
Okay? All right, let's do this one. X minus 5 doesn't cancel. This one, I'm sorry, it doesn't reduce is what I meant. It doesn't factor is what I meant. This one factors. This one factors. Okay? So, take 10 seconds, factor the top. Take 10 seconds, factor the bottom. That's 20 seconds total. The 5, we're going to write it here. So go. 20 seconds total. You should have gotten this. Okay? So now, cancel the x minus 5s. And what else? X minus 2s. So I have x plus 3 over 5. Okay? Now, this is very useful when we are doing dimensional analysis like you do in science. So if you're multiplying one quantity like a speed, okay, which is in like feet per minute, but then you have to change it to, let's say, meters per second, okay? So here we go. I have two quantities that I'm multiplying with different units. What we're going to do is the same thing. We are going to take the coefficients, the numbers, separately. So in the numerator here, I have 120 times 1. Now, do I need to write that times 1? No, that's silly. Here I have 1 times 60, 60. Then the units I take separately. All right? So I have inches, hours, minutes. Okay. Do we know what 120 over 60 is? 2. And then look, hours reduce. So I have inches per minute. Okay? Okay, here. Let's take the numbers. 100 times 1 times 60. 9.85 times 1,000. Okay. Then here I have meter, kilometer, second, meter, minute. Okay, so look at what happens here. Do we know what happens with the here? The 100 and the 1,000, do those reduce?
Yeah.
I have 10 left over here, right? So this is going to be 60 over. Hey, what's 9.85 times 10?
98.5.
98.5. Okay, so Jack, what cancels from the units?
The seconds
And
and the what is the M stand?
meter.
Meters.
So I have kilometer per minute. Let's put this in the calculator. Go. Take out your calculators. Okay, so we're going to get 0.61 kilometers per minute. Leave your calculators on your desk for another problem. Okay.
Wait, let's say it's a test or something. Are we gonna have to like reduce it so it's not a fraction and it has to be a decimal?
I mean, if you have a calculator available. So for the quiz, you might not have a calculator available, which means you'll reduce it by hand. Okay, this one, look at this. We're going to do all the numbers first. 5,000 times 12, we're going to write it down. 2 times 60 times 60. Okay, what do I have with the units? Feet, hour, minute, inches. Hour, minute, seconds, feet. Okay, let's put this in the calculator. So look at what we're going to do. Control division. What did I do? Control division. 5,000 times 12. I go down 2 times. Ugh. Don't yell out the answer, please. Okay, go ahead and plug this in. Go. Okay, so to go, if it's 25 over 3, to make it decimals, you do Control Enter. So it'll be 8.3. And then what happens here? The hours reduce, and the minutes, and what else? And the feet. So we have inches per second. Okay. Okay, so this was dimensional analysis. And we did multiplying. Next, let's do dividing. Okay. So we remember how to divide regular fractions, right? If you have divided by 3 over 2, you make it times and you take the reciprocal. Yeah? So here, look, I have divided by this. I make it times the reciprocal. And so now I can do the operation just like before. So this will be 5 times 21, x squared, 7 times 10, x cubed. So go ahead and reduce that, but don't call out the answer. Okay. So here, the 5 and the 10 reduce, right? So I get 1 and 2. And then what else reduces?
The x and the 3.
And the 7 and the 21. Right? So the 7 and the 21 reduce. And then so do the 5 and the 10. So I have 3 over 2. And then x on the bottom. Any other questions? Okay. So here we go. Okay. So what do we do here? Okay. So look at this one. I have division. So I need to do n plus 1 over n plus 3, in parentheses, of course, times n plus 4, 2n plus 2. Which one of these is possible to factor? There's one.
Oh.
2n plus 2. So let's factor that. So now, this is going to be n plus 1, n plus 3, n plus 4, 2 times n plus 1. Now look, this time, I'm going to leave them as separate fractions. I'm not going to combine them. You can do that if you're organized. and can keep good track and have like neat handwriting, you can do that. So look at this. Look at this. Anything from any numerator cancels with anything from any denominator. So this n plus 1 and this n plus 1 will cancel. Anything else? No. So what I have left is n plus 4 over 2 n plus 3. Okay? Questions? Okay, let's do the next one. I have a division again. So, okay, so 15y squared over 4x times 8x cubed over 5y. Okay, let's write, if it's monomials, I like combining. 15 times 8, x cubed y squared, 4 times 5, xy. Okay, go ahead and reduce this. I'll give you 15 seconds. Go. Right, so here, the 8 and the 4 give me 2. The 5 and the 15 give me 3. So I have 6 on top, x squared on top, y on top. Okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this one. So here, I have division again. So let's see. So I have 27 c cubed d squared over 11d. This one, it'll be times 9 d cubed e over 2c cubed. I'm going to combine this because it's a lot. When they're monomials, always combine. Even at my age, okay? If I were to do this for myself, I would combine them first. So I would say 27 times 9 and then 11 times 2. And so I have c cubed d to the 5 e c cubed d. Do you see how I align numbers, c's, d's, e's? Do you see this? You have to be organized. So look at the coefficients. 27, 9, 11, 2. What reduces? Nothing. Nothing reduces. And that's okay, right? The c's cancel. And the d's, one of them goes away, right? So here, okay, so let's see. What do we get here? Let's do this. So, 27 times 9 over 22, 243 over 22. So this one, I would leave as a fraction. Okay? How many d's, guys? 4. How many e's? 1 e. Cool? Okay, here. b plus 4, parentheses, 3b plus 2, parentheses. Change this to a times b plus 1 on top, 3b plus 12 on the bottom. Anything to factor here?
Yeah.
Which one?
The 3B.
The 3b plus 12. So I have b plus 4, 3b plus 2, b plus 1. Okay, you might as well factor it for me. What do you get, Kira? Take out a 3.
3 and then B plus 4.
Yeah. So b plus 4 is reduce. That's it. So what's my final answer going to be? B plus 1
over 3B plus 2.
3 times.
Oh yeah.
Ah, see that? This is such a dangerous thing. You gotta be careful. Yep. Okay. This one. Let's do this. Okay. 6b minus 12. 3b plus 15. What do I do first? Times. What goes on top? 12b plus 18. Okay, factor. I'm going to race you to factoring this. Are you ready? On your marks? Get set. Go. There are how many things we need to factor? Ooh, it's in between 2 and 4. Three things. Okay, good. All right, go. Don't look at mine. Don't cheat. Come on, go. Okay. Look at what I got. Does anything reduce? What reduces? That's it. Okay? So this 6 and this 6 reduce and nothing else. Oh no. Something does reduce. I just made a mistake. Where's my mistake? Who can find my mistake?
I think it's the 3 parentheses b plus. Instead of the b plus 3, it's b plus 5.
It's b plus 5. b plus 5. There we go. So now more things reduce. Because when we did it in the class right before, things reduced. Look at that. See? So b minus 2 left on top. What's left on the bottom?
3 and 2b plus 3.
Yes, good. Yeah, it is perfect. That's a perfect problem. Yeah. Okay, this one. M squared plus 3m plus 2 over 4 times m plus 1, m plus 2. Okay, we're going to factor this. Kai, help me factor this one.
m plus 1 and m plus, or
Yeah, you're right. Go, continue. M plus 1 and?
m plus 2.
Yeah. Okay?
And then
Yeah. Tell me. What reduces?
the
Are there any identical parentheses on the top and on the bottom?
yeah.
The m plus 2 and the m plus 2. Okay, so now look at this. What do we have on top?
M plus 1 squared.
M plus 1, which I write as m plus 1 squared over 4. Okay? This is where we're going to stop today. And you're going to start on your homework now, which is from the book. So go ahead and take out paper so we can do that.